70,000 years ago, a group of humans crossed into what is today Israel from their long-term home in Africa. They were some of the first Homo sapiens to leave the continent, carrying with them the knowledge and skills that would lay the foundation for civilization. Over the next several thousand years, these early humans spread across the globe, eventually giving rise to the many different cultures and societies we know about today. But this journey was not an easy one. In fact, it was fraught with environmental, social, and economic challenges that forced our ancestors to constantly adapt and change. In this video, we will explore the secret history of human migration, revealing the incredible journeys and discoveries that have shaped our world and who we are today. Let's start with the ancient beginnings. Homo sapiens first emerged in Africa around 300,000 years ago, but for most of this period, they lived in small, isolated groups, largely cut off from each other and the rest of the world. It wasn't until around 70,000 years ago that one of the biggest environmental changes in history, namely a shift in climate, created conditions that allowed humans to venture out of Africa. This allowed early humans to travel into the Middle East and eventually across Europe and Asia. But this was only the beginning. Over the next several thousand years, humans continued to migrate and expand, driven by a combination of factors. Sometimes it was the search for new resources or better living conditions. Other times it was the result of natural disasters or other environmental changes. For example, the eruption of Mount Toba in Indonesia around 74,000 years ago caused massive climate change and likely triggered a population bottleneck for Homo sapiens. Only an estimated 400 to 10 breeding pairs survived the event, which had a profound impact on the genetic diversity of human populations today. Despite these challenges, humans continued to move and adapt, eventually spreading to every corner of the globe. And this was not just a physical journey, it was also a cultural one. As different groups of humans came into contact with each other, they exchanged languages, technologies, and customs, which contributed to the development of human civilization. For example, the domestication of plants and animals is believed to have occurred independently in several different parts of the world, such as in the Fertile Crescent, China, and Mesoamerica. Each of these areas had its own unique environment and resources, which led to the development of different agricultural practices and technologies. As humans moved and interacted with each other, they shared these innovations, which helped to spread the knowledge and skills necessary for farming and raising livestock. Similarly, the development of pottery, tools, and other technologies is believed to have been influenced by cultural exchange as humans migrated and traded with one another. Let's now look at some of the major waves of migration throughout history. One of the earliest and most significant was the Indo-European expansion, which began around 4,000 years ago in what is today Ukraine. This refers to the migration of the Indo-European peoples who spoke a common ancestral language and eventually spread across vast areas of Asia and Europe. The Indo-European languages are now spoken by more than 3 billion people around the world, making it the most widely spoken language family in the world. Another major migration wave was the Bantu expansion, which began in Nigeria around 3,000 years ago. Over the course of several centuries, Bantu-speaking peoples migrated across sub-Saharan Africa, eventually reaching the southern tip of the continent. This migration had a profound impact on the history and culture of Africa, as Bantu-speaking groups developed new technologies and ways of life as they encountered different environments and resources. Finally, we can look at the Mongol movements across continents, which began in the 13th century CE with the rise of Genghis Khan. The Mongols were a nomadic people from the steppes of Central Asia, but under Genghis Khan's leadership, they grew into a vast empire that stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. This empire facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and people across Eurasia, which had a lasting impact on the history and culture of the regions it connected. These are just a few examples of the many migration waves that have shaped the world we live in today. Each of these movements had a profound impact on the history, culture, and development of the regions involved. And the legacy of human migration continues to this day. In fact, we are all the descendants of those early humans who dared to leave their homeland and explore the unknown. Our languages, cultures, and even our DNA reflect the incredible journeys of our ancestors and the profound impact they had on the world around them. So as we continue to explore the secret history of human migration, we are also uncovering our own history and the incredible story of our species.